Hey folks, Andrew here with Las Casitas Vineyards. Today we're going to go over a quick recipe for a watermelon soup. And the story behind this soup really has to do a lot with my mom. And in honor of Mother's Day, I wanted to put this out there for all of you to enjoy. It pairs great with our rosé. It's been a menu item in the past on the Sunday Fancy Flight. So let's go over how you're going to do it. You're going to need a small seedless watermelon. You are also going to need a honeydew. You're only going to use half. 2 limes. Couple of mint leaves. I have a really large one, so for this purpose it'll be perfect. Some cayenne pepper and some salt. So let's get started with the watermelon first. So we're going to skin the watermelon completely and chop it into cubes. So what I like to do with the watermelon is literally, so it doesn't roll around on me too much, is just take the sides right off. You see here, perfectly flat surface for us to then work with. Then just take your knife and give the watermelon a nice little shave from the top to the bottom, rotating it as you need to. We're gonna have to attack it a couple different ways to get all of the skin off of it. So why watermelon? I mean, watermelon, I just love the flavor of watermelon, and really harkens back to my days as a kid, and barbecues all the time. We wouldn't necessarily have dessert, but my mom would just put sliced watermelon out on the table for us to enjoy after dinner, or when we're hanging out by the pool, or after soccer practice when it was hot. And it's just stuck with me the rest of my life. It's always been a flavor that I've been really fond of and loved and associated with, hot times, good memories, my mom. And so now that Mother's Day is coming up this weekend, and now that the weather's starting to get a little hot, and you may be getting a little quarantine crazy, stir crazy, I figured, why not show this recipe a little bit to give you an idea for something that you may not have had before, or something that's a little twist on just a traditional watermelon. So this watermelon soup is light, refreshing. It is very tasty, and like I said, it pairs great with most rosés, especially our Las Casitas 2018 rosé, which I will break down for you in a second. So there we go. Most of it is de-skinned. Let me take this piece off right here. It's annoying. Most of the white is gone, which didn't take too much time at all. And now we are going to chop it in half. There you have your watermelon in half. Then you're just going to cube it. You don't need to worry too much about getting the correct size. We are going to use an immersion blender with this, so that'll take it apart pretty quickly, considering that watermelon, like its namesake suggests, is mostly water. So I'm just going to take these watermelon pieces, I'm going to dump them into that bucket right there. So now that we have our watermelon all chopped and in the bucket, I want to add my limes to it, and my cayenne pepper and my salt. Then we're going to blend it, and we're going to do that before we add honeydew to it, because the watermelon, like I said, water, it'll create enough liquid for us to then liquefy half of this honeydew in it. So let's get these limes chopped and into the mixture, into the bucket there. Anything that you're making, sometimes it needs just a splash of citrus. A lot of times I go to limes quite often. Lemons work as well, but this acidity and the citrus, definitely I'd add to this recipe to help counteract the heat from the cayenne pepper. We're not going to put a ton of cayenne in here, but there is enough to feel a little tingle in the back of your throat. So go ahead and take your cayenne, and I put about probably a tablespoon of cayenne in there, and then probably another teaspoon or so of salt. And then I am going to take it to the immersion blender right here, and I will blend that up for you to see, and then I'll come back so you don't have to hear the be right back. All right, now next up is our honeydew. So we're gonna take kind of the same approach with the honeydew as we did with the watermelon, and cut it flat on its side so it can stand up. But the only needing half of this and it being a honeydew, we have to take the seeds out, okay? So we could put it like this and then cut it in half like that. But as you'll see, boom, seeds. So put that half over there, I'll enjoy that as an afternoon snack. But we need to get the seeds out of the honeydew before we can move on. Just take a spoon, use your hand, whatever you're comfortable with. Some people don't like the texture of the seeds and the guts of the honeydew melon. Apparently honeydew's a little bit of a, well, melon in general seems to be a little divisive in the community, but whether people actually like it or not. I mean, I grew up on honeydew and cantaloupe and watermelon, but I was trying to make a cantaloupe soup with basil and cream, and Brent was like, not a lot of people like cantaloupe, and that was news to me. I love cantaloupe and honeydew and those different kinds of melons, delicious. So just like with the watermelon, just take the skins off from the outside, which will make it easier to blend and use. Why do I incorporate honeydew into this recipe? If you just used watermelon, it would be delicious, but it would be a little bit one note. Just pick up the watermelon. The honeydew honestly adds kind of like a green tea element to things, and makes it just a little bit more complex, brings a little bit more to the table with what's going on. So once again, don't worry about getting exact sizes down, and add the honeydew to your bucket or whatever you're blending in, and then blend. So I'll be right back to do that. All right, back here, and I got my blended soup all in my bucket here. And so I'm just gonna go ahead and take a little bit of a taste, see if the seasoning's where I want it to be. You know what? Honestly, it needs another pinch, 2 of salt, and I did not have enough cayenne in there. That should do it. Get another spoon here, mix this up a little bit. Oh yeah, there we go. So I like to, when I'm serving cold soup, I like to put it in a vessel that makes service easier for me. Sometimes that's a really large ketchup bottle. In this case, the texture of the soup, there's still some chunkiness to it. So I'm gonna put it into this bottle right here, and then be able to serve it into bowls rather easily. So let's get some of that watermelon soup into our container as I'm making it fly all over the place. Perfect. Give it a little bit of a mix, and then we can put this into the fridge, chill it, and come back and enjoy it later. All right, the soup has had a chance to set up a little bit, so I'm gonna take it, pour it into one of my beautiful little bowls I got right here. And then I'm going to take this beautiful beautiful mint leaf, and I'm going to just roll it up a little bit right here. And then give it a quick little mince that way. A little bit that way. So the key here is mint, as we know, can be super powerful. So we want to make sure that we are not overpowering the freshness and the flavor of the watermelon and the citrus and the soup at all. So after I've finely minced that, just go ahead and add a little bit of soup, or words are hard today, alright guys? Add a little bit of mint leaf to the soup, and voila, we have a beautiful little watermelon soup. And like I said, this has been featured on the Fancy Flight before with our 2018 Estate Rosé. This is a rosé of Grenache, Syrah, and Mourvedre, so it's Brent's little play on a GSM in the rosé style, and the beautiful peach and watermelon notes of the wine really get reflected and enhanced when added with the interesting freshness of the watermelon and the citrus, but the spice from that cayenne, and then the ever loving flavor of mint. So hope you take this idea and use it for Mother's Day. It'll make any mother happy. And you know, in this quarantine time, I just want to say to all the mothers out there, if you get to spend it with your sons, daughters, enjoy it and appreciate it. You know, I won't be able to get to spend Mother's Day with my mother this year. And, you know, I just wanted to do this to really let her know that she has inspired me. And to all the mothers out there, just happy Mother's Day. Stay safe, stay strong. We appreciate everything that you all do. Till next time.